Alright, so what we have here is a Squier Classic Vibe 60s Stratocaster from Fender. I have the Fender Vintera Roadworn here as well. Just wanted to do some quick comparisons. Now this guitar is really popular and this is one of the higher end Squier guitars that they offer. This one costs about $600 and it's actually a very, very good guitar for what for this price point. Of course you're not getting like Alder wood or anything like that, but I don't think it really matters in this case now. So what exactly are you getting with a Squier Classic Vibe? You know, it's only $600. That's not too bad. Whereas if you're having like that Vintera there, that when it came out was about 1,500 Canadian. So it's more than double the price. Is it more than double the guitar? I don't think so. I don't think it's more than double. I still like it because of the way it's finished, the way it feels in the hand. The tuning stability is slightly better, but you know, it's not like you can't do those upgrades on this guitar. In an electric guitar setting, I don't think it really matters that much because most people are not playing their electric guitar unplugged on stage. In fact, I don't think there's anyone I know that does that. Otherwise, you just go over to acoustic. So I feel like the type of wood that's being used is better for acoustic guitars. But when it comes to electric guitars, it doesn't matter as much, simply because you have to understand your guitar is going to go through an amp. The amp is going to change the character of the sound way more than the guitar wood that's being used. And then you have stuff like guitar pedals that are going to even further alter the sound of your guitar. So your tone is going to be very different. So when people put all this emphasis like, well, you know, I'd rather get a Fender because they have better wood, but it doesn't really affect something like this. At the end of the day, you know, it does sound good for what it is, and you know, like you're definitely not getting better tuners. Like the tuners you can probably upgrade. Personally, I'm a huge fan of vintage style tuners. So this one here is a Fender, this one here is a Squier, and you can kind of see like the type of tuners that are used on both of these guitars, and it's actually really similar. Obviously the Fender does keep in tune better, but for the most part you're getting, you know, the same vintage style tuners. And then when we switch it around to the headstock, you can kind of see that they both have the tree there as well, right? And of course you can see that this has been kind of worn down, whereas with the Squier, it's much more of a glossier look, right? And then of course, as we go down the fretboard, right here, you can see that, I don't know if you can see it there, but the Fender right here is a bit of a thick, it's a bit of a chunkier neck. You can kind of feel it a little bit more. This one's a little bit flatter, okay? And then of course when you go to the pickups, this one here has that vintage style pickup. This one does not, right? I love this look, the aged look here, right? And then finally the paint. So you can see the paint here is kind of chipped, nitrocellulose paint, easier to wear off, whereas this one looks like a brand new guitar straight from factory. All right, so there you have it. That is the Squier Classic Vibe 60s Stratocaster. Very good buy right now. It's about $620 Canadian. You're still getting a maple neck with a gloss polyurethane finish. So I think this is definitely a gig-worthy guitar. It's definitely been inspired by the 60s Stratocaster, 100% designed by Fender, and they're just trying to keep costs down. So that's why it's slightly less expensive compared to its Fender counterparts. Of course, this one is made in Indonesia, but that's kind of expected. So yeah, if you're looking for a Stratocaster and you don't know where to start, you don't want to spend close to $900 or $1,000 for a Fender Stratocaster, this is probably a very good place to start. And I plan to keep this guitar for a very long time, even though I still have a Fender Stratocaster. My main guitar, I'm still going to be using the Squier Stratocaster just as much. I really do like the finish. The action is perfect. And this was basically set up by the guitar shop. and it plays really well with a 9.5-inch radius. Nothing wrong with that. You can't go wrong with this for $600 if that's what you're looking for. And personally for me, I really like the vintage look, and I just think they're really cool. The vintage tuners, the way the body is styled, it just looks really cool. So that's my advice there. All right, so aside from that, that is all for today. If you like what you see and you want to see more, click the subscribe button. There'll be more videos on the way. Obviously, a lot more guitar stuff coming. So yeah, just stay tuned. See you guys later.